The song basically came about through me and making music that was very centered around relationships and how they weren't going well. So I decided, like, hey, how about we do some introspection and figure out how to rework the song in a different light. And instead of making it about someone else, it's also about myself and the experiences that I have been through, and how, you know, creativity is my outlet, and how to, you know, present that to people, and why I make the music that I do. Hey y'all, I go by Whoisti, and I'm here to break down the recipe for creative self-harm. So introspection, because I look within myself to answer some questions within the song. Another one being vulnerability, because I'm being vulnerable not only with myself, but with whoever is listening to the song. Another one being creativity, 100%. Those would be like three things that I feel like the song encompasses. Can't figure out why I keep doing this to myself. I don't know why I keep doing this, like I want to hurt myself. Creative self-harm will put me right back into my bag. Then I get upset about my feelings. All that sadness makes me mad. So basically, I feel like I was getting myself in situations that was causing me harm, but only for the fact that I was putting myself in those situations and would get creative, basically songs out of these situations. It's like, you know, I decide to talk to someone that is in a relationship, knowing that that probably is not going to last, and that it's not more so of like a positive thing to get into, considering someone is committed to someone. So putting myself in a situation like that and then expecting something to come out of that, that's what brings me to write a lot of my songs. But by doing that, I'm just hurting myself. But yet it's creative because I keep coming up with these new songs. But mainly a lot of my songs are based around relationships and how it's not working out, or I'm upset because, you know, someone's in a relationship and won't leave the person that they're with. I don't want to be the arm that you lean on when you down. I don't want to be the person that you just keeping around. I don't want to be the void that you feel when your boyfriend not around. I don't want to be the name in your mouth because you like the way it sounds. I just want to be your favorite when you know that I'm a rider. Even when the feelings faded, I never been a switch sider. I want him to act right, so you stop coming to me. Because if you really wanted tea, you would know exactly where to be. People like to keep me around or talk to me because something within their relationship is not working. I'm a new source of light, basically, I would say. In turn, I just, you know, wrote what I felt. Those lyrics are just basically like how I felt about the situation and how they moved about it. Regardless of what happens in a situation and me talking to someone, that I'm always going to be around. I said, so in the line Switch Sider, I had said that specifically because someone that I listen to a lot and like sort of relate to is Ella May, and she has a song called Switch Sider. So I just wanted to like throw that in there. And she's also a Scorpio too. The thought just came to my head and I was like, all right, let me put that in there. And also, like, I've never been a person to switch sides. I try to stay 10 toes. And so I say what I mean and I do what I say. You know, want that to be reflective in my music as well. See, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Playing in these positions when you know you get distracted by the simple disposition is the fact they got nothing to offer. They not ready for you. And you keep going back to the same people. Girl, I thought you wanted new. How does that make sense? This one obviously with him, and he might give her the bare minimum, but she is not coming up. She's not leaving. And the one that can't get over her last relationship is what it seems. She got to get it together because she has to do so much more healing. But back to you, T. This ain't just cream and peaches. I tell you about yourself. Oof, so be ready to pick up them pieces. Look at you getting mad at the fact that she had her mans while you on the phone. That girl was never yours and the house will never be your home. So basically throughout this whole song is like me talking to myself as if I am my own therapist. I had to check myself. Like, hey, you keep putting yourself in these positions, but I thought you said you wanted something new. But you can't have something new if you keep going back to the same old patterns that you were doing before. So it's not helping anything. And in turn, Maybe it's, you're harming yourself because of those things. If something makes you upset, yet you keep going back to it, that's self-harm to me. I was talking to a person that basically made me want to write this song and do like a lot of introspection for myself. And the person obviously had a person that they were talking to. And I felt like I kind of knew that they weren't going to leave them and that they had just a lot of things to work on within their relationship, and maybe them helping themselves and me kind of like taking a step back from the friendship would allow maybe their thing to grow. You like the deep cuts, it's like your heart likes to be subtly attacked, but all them other times we've done that, you've got some fire ass tracks. That's not the way to move about it, girl. Do some healing too. Your mama not even healed about everything she went through. You know you want a relationship. You know you want to be cared for. You know you want to be the only option. If not, they're lost. So therefore, that's your gain. Take your lessons. That's your learn. Peace comes after pain. So count your blessings. Take the credit for the growth you've earned. I had to keep it 100% with myself and realize what I was doing. This person is in a relationship. They probably, most likely, will never be yours. You're continuing to talk to them and figure them out, although we know that they're committed to something else, so why would they ever commit to you? She's not your girl. That's not your home. Figure it out. So I just had to keep it 100% with myself and tell myself about myself. The whole song helped me heal from the situations because I would just listen to it over and over again and realize like, oh, wow. Maybe you should go to therapy, like talking to yourself is great because you get to do introspection, but maybe there's some other things going on. It's to reiterate to myself like, hey, this is what you're doing. This is what's going on. The line about my mom not being fully healed. I feel like a lot of people's parents aren't fully healed. I have some healing to do within myself, but also people that are way older than me also have healing. I just feel like the healing never stops. It's always going to be evolving, and that's what makes you a better person. Because if you're constantly looking within yourself and being like, hey, maybe I'm not fully where I'm supposed to be, there's always something new to learn. And if you're open to learning, then you'll evolve as a person. But if you're not, then you stay stuck, you stay stagnant, and that doesn't help anyone. Knowing that I'm a person that likes to be in relationships, although I've only been in 2, I've always have looked for that and wanted someone to take care of me or for me to be able to take care of someone. And a lot of the situations I've been in haven't been that because I decide to talk to people that are in relationships or are not healed from their past relationships. And I had to take a minute, take a step back and realize, hey, maybe because you're putting yourself in these positions, you're kind of manifesting that route for yourself. But if you recollect yourself and start looking more into people that, are single or are working on their healing process, that you could actually find what you're looking for instead of the same thing over and over and over again. I feel like because of all the past things, I take everything as a lesson. I don't regret anything that I've ever done in my life. I take all of it as a learning experience. So I just move with the information that I have and apply it to the next. Listen, I hear what you're saying and I thoroughly agree. I had to experience it 3 times to learn not to repeat. 3 times the charm is the motto. Damn, it's unfortunate. Show me how to connect the dots and not follow the coordinates. Can't help but to think how either woman could be mine. I moved on to the next, but both still in the back of my mind. I'm friends with the one and the other one can't even be around me. We both know how we feel, but the emotions make us feel like we drowning. We both know how to swim, so I don't know what it is. She floating on our backs. She needs some floaties like some kids. Something that I realized within myself is that I have to do things a couple of times in order to finally realize like, hey, this is not working. You tried this one time, all right, try this the second time. Then finally, by the 3rd time that you try it, it doesn't work, then you know how to move about it. Now, that's just me. And I don't know why it's like that, but hence the introspection of the song. Like, hey, we realize, maybe you've tried to talk to 3 people that all have been in relationships. We see how that worked. It didn't work out. So what's next? So at the time that I was writing this song, both people were still in my head because, like I said earlier, I feel like I still want to be friends with these people. A friendship is a solid foundation for any type of relationship. I think it's important to build that relationship. And in turn, I still think about, well, I was at the time still thinking about how the friendship turned out, how we can fix it, how we maneuver through the things that we've been through. And one of them couldn't be my friend. She had said, you know, I don't want to be your friend. I can't just be your friend because maybe the feelings were too strong. Hence the emotions make us feel like we're drowning because there's just so much there and we know what it is, but it's not working. So we have to move on. The floaty line is actually very interesting because I was watching this stand-up comedian and she was talking about how it's not fair for people that have mental illnesses to not do what they need to do in order to like stay afloat. Not knowing how to swim and jumping in a pool with no floaties on, you're gonna drown. And then you obviously can't save yourself, so other people have to jump in and save you. So someone with mental illness, if you're not taking or doing the necessary steps to get better, it's like jumping in a pool with no floaties on. And then everyone around you is supposed to help you. So that's kind of what I was like doing with that line, just because of that stand-up comedy, which is, I guess, maybe ironic considering the song is like creative self-harm, but yet a part of it is like from a stand-up special, you know? Damn whack. It is what it is. T, get back to you. I know you can do it. Damn, you right, T. Now show me that you can prove it. Change is good, not the person that I was. Embraced all the change, now it's time to level up. Can never be alone, even though we got us. Believe in me, all it takes is your trust. I don't wanna feel, I don't wanna feel. I don't wanna feel, I don't wanna feel. With that last line, I was still being introspective in the way like, hey, all right, we just broke all of this down to myself. How do we fix it? Like, we know that you can do better, so it's time for you to do better. And it's like me having a conversation in the mirror with each other, or like, you know, a therapist that is me, and just telling myself what I need to do in order to move past the situation. So what I was also saying before about being able to constantly heal and evolve and level up, like the lyrics suggest, that change is good. It's okay to constantly be evolving. And, you know, maybe sometimes if people aren't evolving and changing with you, it's time to let go of that. And that in itself is also the change. With the creative self-harm, the title in general, the ending lines, I don't want to feel. I feel like a lot of people, you know, will do self-harm because they don't want to feel. They don't want to feel the pain of what they're going through. And emotionally, if you're physically harming yourself, you feel that pain rather than the emotional pain that you're dealing with. That was the release, the ending. I don't want to feel, I released creative self-harm. That's it. I go by Whoisti, and that was the breakdown for creative self-harm.